Even though I'm wearing a Yoshi t-shirt, please take me seriously as I review TNA. In the opening match, Joseph Parks Abyss defeats Eric Young. And even though there was great weapon usage, the monster Abyss coming back, the main storyline comes from Eric Young removing Abyss's mask to reveal Joseph Parks. But the thing about this is they made us wait so long, not a continuous week after week build up of this. They just spaced it out in chunks, and that's why I didn't feel the aftermatch was anything overly special. I'm glad it's coming to a wrap up time now, but you've made us wait too long. But I will compliment the match. I just don't feel TNA should rely on bringing Monsters Ball match to make the Abyss character still mean something in TNA. I'm not going to talk about the opening segment with MVP. I want to save all that for the main event. So the next part is Buddy Ray hyping up his match against Anderson next week. He goes on talking about how Anderson took away Buddy Ray's family. Oh, please, Buddy Ray. Throughout near the end of the Ace and Eight storyline, he was insulting them. You were saying how you don't need them, want them. So why are you still holding on to this grudge that Anderson put an end to it? You should be glad, celebrating, drinking all those beer bottles you've got and all that stuff. Just don't hold this grudge over Anderson because he took away the Ace and Eights. The Ace and Eights finishing was the best thing to happen in TNA since that time when that thing happened. And what he ended up doing to prove his point, he mentions about taking out someone to put them into the coffin to prove his point, make a point. And the person he puts in a very quick manner is Curryman. Couldn't someone who's injured or due with a break or someone who's going to be leaving TNA shortly have been the victim to Buddy Ray's thing just to make it look more stand out for Buddy Ray, a bigger moment, more of a stronger message? But either way, Curryman, get well soon. And flip, I'm gonna have to give Austin Aries a great big thumbs up here. He ends up coming into the ring, cutting a promo saying how the belt doesn't make the man makes the belt. That is very true, but I'm pretty sure that promo, that line, may have been used somewhere else in the wrestling business. But Aries is a great champion. No wonder why TNA have chosen him to hold the major championships in their company. And okay, the bromans weren't annoying this week. They come out and Austin Aries is talking over their entrance. Brilliant. Austin Aries saying all this insulting stuff. Are you lost, guys? But that was a distraction because Zema Ion with his briefcase cashes it in only to lose. And I really couldn't care. Zema Ion, when he first came in, yes, he had all that hair stuff, making his hair look good and stand up and all that jazz. But as after his injury, his character just went down to mush. So I'm really glad that he lost his cash in because I really wouldn't be behind Zema Ion with this character as our X Division champion. So Austin Aries to manage to fight back from that briefcase to the back of the head, very nicely done, and it was great to see Austin Aries walk out still as the champion. But who's Aries' next opponent gonna be now Irons has lost? Maybe Abyss, but that's gonna bring back the Abyss and Aries storyline. Is there anyone younger or new? Sam Shaw? Now, talk about Sam Shaw. That brings me on to the next segment. TNA have shown that the wrestlers do watch part of last week back. And this is where Chrissy Hemme saw that Sam Shaw has a room all dedicated to Chrissy Hemme. Maybe it was going to be her bedroom, and the mannequin was going to be somewhere for her to put her clothes or the outfit for the next day. Doesn't mean he's a creep, but she dumps him, and Sam Shaw's got that evil look. So there's going to be more from this storyline. Talking about breakups, you know when you've got yourself a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and you're talking about all the wonderful things about being together. Well, Chris Sabin in Velvet Sky had had discussions on getting married at some point. So here's Chris Sabin in the room where they first met, first kissed, yada yada yada, looking all so beautiful, and it was a nice looking place, you know, a place that we could all go and just relax, be happy. And Chris Sabin, very smartly dressed, has Velvet Sky with her, saying, you know, when you shouted at me and dumped me, it made me see things so clearly. Brings out a ring box, but it's empty. And there we go. Chris Sabin, the heel, breaks out. He says, I want nothing to do with you. You don't end things. I end things. And now I want to do things to prove that I'm a man. I'm the best. And he challenges Velvet Sky to a match next week. So maybe my thought of Sam Shaw, Abyss facing Austin Aries is not going to happen, because maybe this is setting up the continuation of Austin Aries and Sabin, and Velvet Sky going into another relationship with Austin Aries. Either way, this breakup, I guess it's getting Chris Sabin on TV, but how many of you are actually caring about this? Now I want to get to the main event matches and the opener. We had MVP speaking about him being in the company and how he's been at home for the last few years, not in any other wrestling business, and just living life, you know, living life. But he cannot sit back and watch something so appalling happen to the business that he loves, wrestling. And this is where things are going to change. And this leads to MVP making a match between Magnus and Kurt Angle. This match, it was alright. It didn't go on as long as it should have done, as EC3, the guy who's been teased to possibly turn him face, comes in and attacks Kurt Angle. So is this EC3 character still going to become a face, or is this a quick turn to keep him as a heel? Dixie Carter didn't have time for him. Spud keeps making comments about him. Bobby Roode makes comments about him. So, you know, EC3 had the chance to turn face, but after attacking Kurt, possibly set up a match somewhere down the line. Is this really going to help or continue the EC3 face turn? But either way, Kurt Angle gets escorted out by the doctors and he's out. And that's EC3's part. And this leaves the other match where Bobby Roode gets his rematch to become the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, but he has to beat Samoa Joe. This match I like. This match was a great match to finish on, but Samoa Joe ends up defeating Bobby Roode, and that is good and all because it's been so long to see Samoa Joe back in the top part of TNA, looking like the monster champion or the monster top guy he is. So that match is still happening. Samoa Joe versus Magnus for the World Heavyweight Championship. Brilliant match. Look forward to it. Bobby Roode, where are you going to go from here? I question that, and at the moment, I can't really see where you're going, but I'm sure with what you've accomplished and who you are, you'll get a big match somewhere down the line. Now back to the main event. This part, it was all about Dixie Carter and MVP being in the ring to include the fans around the ring and us. This was brilliant. MVP allows Dixie Carter to dig herself a deep, deep hole, saying how great she is and how she's meant to be putting everything into perspective and make things work again. And MVP waits for the right time and says, "Party's over. Your thing of letting your minions control the company is over. Things are going to change." And that is what fans have been asking for. Change in TNA, change in the wrestling business. Using MVP to bring change, I want to see how it goes, but he held the mic like it was his own and he ripped Dixie Carter. That was brilliant. Great way to finish. Great way to put MVP on his path to becoming something in TNA. I thought the ending segment did great for MVP and put Dixie Carter in her place. Tune in for next week where we get to see the outcome of this week, even though they're going to be back in the impact zone. But please share your thoughts of this show in the comments section below. And thank you very much for watching, people. I've been NJ, you've been the people of YouTube. Goodbye.